thing is menstruation. It's huge amounts of healing vibrations. Religion versus spirituality. I mean, sex sells, right?
And turns you into peanut butter.
Raise your hand if you have or know someone with a tattoo. Had I asked this question 20 years ago, only about 3 to 5% of you would have raised your hand. This is because there has been an exponential growth in popularity for tattoos. A 2012 Harris poll surveyed that 40% of Americans aged 18 to 40 have at least one tattoo today. This is a huge jump compared to the 3% 20 years ago and the 0.5 50 years ago. But what is a tattoo? Hundreds of small holes are punctured through the skin leading to the dermis, and then the ink between the needles is drawn into them by capillary action. Surface tension and force holds the ink together and then encourages it to seep into the holes left by the needles. Then the metals in the ink get trapped under the skin, and when the body tries to heal itself, it leaves a permanent image. So why on earth would anyone want to do this to themselves? Well, the 1 in 5 adults who today have at least one tattoo must have had a reason. This reason is what I have been interested in exploring for my project. I have always been fascinated by tattoos and their artistic diversity. And then I read the book, I Ink, Therefore I Am, by Robert Arp, who is an American philosopher known for his works in modern philosophy, ethics, cognitive science, and evolutionary biology. The name of the book is a play on the famous phrase inspired by the philosopher Descartes' I think, therefore I am. This book reconstitutes this idea and maintains that a tattooed person would feel comfortable saying, I am, therefore I ink. I'd like to read a short excerpt from the book to explain this concept more. By saying I am, therefore I ink, what I mean by this is that the person with a tattoo is someone who realizes not only that she, he, they have an intimate connection with the body, but that bodily expression is a fundamental way of communicating to others. This is the I am part, and utilizes this intimate connection to the body to express their innermost thoughts, feelings, beliefs, experiences, and the like by indelibly marking the skin for all to see. This is the therefore I ink part. Therefore, a tattooed person might say, I am a person who is intimately tied to my body in a community of persons who express themselves bodily. Therefore, I ink to express my innermost thoughts, beliefs, experiences, feelings, and the like to this community of persons. After reading this book, I became motivated to explore the different ways that tattoos can have an impact on our lives, but whether it be philosophical or therapeutic. So how can a tattoo be a therapeutic? To explore this more, I wanted to be closer to tattoos, so I decided to take a month-long internship at a tattoo studio in London. The tattoo studio is called Bleu. Bleu is a famous tattoo studio that has tattooed big names like Kanye West the rapper and PewDiePie the YouTuber. And while I worked there, I did little tasks that no one else really wanted to do, but I got to see world-famous artists at their craft daily. I also got to see the everyday things it takes to run a tattoo studio, like ordering ink and needles, taking stock, or running out at 8 p.m. to get 20 packs of toilet paper multiple times. While I was there, I got to see some incredible things. One of the most impactful experiences I had was seeing an older man get tattooed. There was a tattoo on his heart of his daughter's portrait. She had recently passed away. When the tattoo was finished, he got out of the chair, walked to the mirror, and started crying. He came back to the artist and he smiled and he said, I want you to know I'm not crying because I'm happy. Sad. I'm crying because I'm happy. This was a profoundly intimate moment, and I felt really privileged to be able to witness this. It was also an experience of how a tattoo can be therapeutic. Tattoos can also be therapeutic in the instance of abuse, be it sexual, physical, or mental, committed by a stranger, someone close to the person like a family member or friend, or even the person themselves. The victim experiences a loss of their own power, and tattoos can be a way to regain control and regain their confidence. It is an empowering experience and can give strength to a victim who may at that moment feel weak. It gives one agency over their own body, over their traumatic experiences. And it gives them an opportunity to express physical strength where they have already expressed emotional strength. It can also give closure to a traumatic or hurtful experiences. It challenges their victimization by painting over evidence of their trauma with evidence of their survival, and it can transform something they may see as ugly and hurtful into something beautiful and comforting. Tattoos are a big part of my life. Tattoos help me self-heal in a part of my life where I was going through a rough time. They helped me accept myself and my body, and they gave me so much more confidence. A year and a half ago, me and my mother went and got our first tattoos, on my insistence. I had always wanted to get a tattoo, and I wanted my first one to be something really meaningful and special to me, and I could think of no other person I wanted to do this other than my mother. When I was younger, I experienced a depression and anxiety that led to me harming myself. This was a really hard part of my life where I had no self-love. I wanted to take this experience and transform it into something beautiful and empowering for myself. So I got a tattoo on my ribs of an eagle feather. My name, Valeria, means eagle. Each strand of the tattoo is a different symbol, some representing time, some representing femininity, and some representing power. My mother's tattoo, the main part of it, is a feather, representing me and motherhood. An eagle sees everything from above. The snake is the primordial life force. The eye, window to the soul, and the eye of Horus is protection and life. Blue is the color of the sky, open space, freedom and inspiration. Violet, the crown chakra, connection to God. This was an incredible experience, and I will cherish it always. I was also immediately addicted. I got my second tattoo in June of last year, after the Pulse shooting, in which a lone shooter went into a gay nightclub in Florida, killing 49 people and injuring 53 others. This was something that followed me around. I could feel it like a cloud hovering above me, and it really affected me. So with a few friends, I went to a tattoo studio in Semia, and I got the word pride tattooed on my pinky, including It was a reminder that I should always love myself, never be afraid, and it was a promise that I would love myself. In the case of physical trauma, a tattoo's therapeutic benefits can be more obvious. In the case of scars and surgery, it can turn something that the bearer once didn't like into something that they do. It is a way for them to regain control of that part of their body and take back after trauma and disease. It can turn something clinical into beautiful, something sterile into sensual. It is a new point of reference, and it replaces the sense of rupture and damage with an act of creation. It is a path to regaining self-love, and a way for the bearer to see their body as beautiful again. I was following projects like Personal Ink, or Pink, which connects women who have gone through breast cancer with tattoo artists. This became really personal to me when someone close to me told me about their breast cancer diagnosis. The same night they told me about their diagnosis, they asked me to help design a tattoo. A tattoo is a way to reclaim control when you feel that you have lost it. It is, and give a voice to the bearer. The tattoo is a language in itself, and it may be a language that only the bearer understands, or it can be a language that is shared, such as traditional tribal tattoos that can show belonging to tribes, or even mafia and gang tattoos showing allegiance to these groups. Tattoos have been widely used by groups at the fringe of society, and that's why they've had such harsh connotations for a really long time. That has changed. Now they can show you're belonging to a certain artistic group, social group, or any group with a specific interest, like astronomy, yoga, eating peanut butter, or any group with a distinct language. A tattoo is a way to say, I am tattooed, therefore I am able to speak in my community, and my community speaks through me. Tattoos have had negative connotations for so long, and they are often seen as little more than pretty pictures on the skin or violent gang-associated ink. But I believe they are so much more than that. They are a show of strength, a form of self-expression, and can give a voice to those who need it. They can signify being part of a group or a person's own individuality. They can signify something really close to the person. And while they may not be for everyone, that does not give you permission to impose your opinion upon others and judge them for their tattoos. While you may argue that people will regret their tattoos, they are still a part of who they were at that time, and they are a landmark of that timeline. You may not understand the meaning or the imagery behind it, but it still deserves much less judgment and so much more understanding and respect. Tattoos are a journal, and they paint the story of our lives on the canvas that is our skin. Thank you.